started so we don't keep you throughout the night. Hopefully, how many of you have been to a fourth grade presentation before? Some of you, awesome. So welcome, I'm Angie Van Wyk. This is my 19th year teaching. I've been at BFA since it opened. My 3 kiddos have gone through here. I have 3 boys. I have a graduate from college, a sophomore in college, and a senior in high school. It does go by fast, so I know people probably tell you that, so do enjoy. And then my husband and I have been married 27 years. We both went to high school at Heritage, so we're from the area. Miss Mares is gone sick tonight. I think she emailed the class, so if you're from her class, this will all be relevant because we do everything the same in 4th grade, but she won't be here tonight.
I'm Haley Barta. This is my first year here at BFA. This is my 3rd year teaching 4th grade. I'm from Canada, actually, Saskatchewan. In the last group, there was somebody that was from Canada too. So I've been in the States for like 7 years. I came out here to play volleyball actually in college and softball, and I coach volleyball now. But I was in Kansas the last 2 years, and now I'm here, and I've been loving it. My team is great, and the school is awesome. So.
And I'm Amy Lucas-Savage. I've been here at BFA. This is my 10th year. Taught 4th grade for 4 years, and then the last 5 in 4th. And so I love BFA. It's where I started my career, so I know nothing different, but I still just love it, and I'm not going anywhere. My husband and I live in Inglewood, pretty close by, and we're expecting a baby in January, so a little bit about me. So we'll get started with our session. Thanks for being here.
Here's us. Okay, so I'm going to go over our schedule and our website. Everything that you want to know is probably going to be on our website. So, when you scroll down just on this home page here, you'll see our daily schedule. You'll see when our science labs are, when our library is. So if you're taking kids out during the day, you know kind of what they're missing. And then on the top part here, we have all of our little tabs. So we have our behavior expectations, our teacher pages. So if you want to know a little bit more about each of us, all of our pages are on here. The homework calendar. So any homework that we have will be on here. We don't give a lot of homework in 4th grade, so there's not a ton of stuff on here. And your kids should have an agenda that they're filling out right now. So you can also see their homework there too, if they're filling it out. Nifty News, we'll get into this more because we haven't even started this yet, so your kid probably doesn't even know really much about Nifty News. I think they did something similar in 3rd grade, but they have not started this yet, and we'll talk about it more after this part. But this is where you see which day your kid presents on. So whatever class they're in, they'll have a day, they'll present that day. So if your kid presents Tuesdays, it'll be Tuesday for the rest of the year, every Tuesday, unless it's a short week. And then study materials, we got our social studies, science, and then the second step links, which we'll also talk more about second step as well. But any materials like Quizlet, stuff like that, that your kid wants to use to study, it's gonna be on here. It'll all be linked in here. Yeah. Oh, the weekly newsletter, if you haven't gotten one already, then come talk to us because we might have got an email mixed up or something. But you should get a weekly newsletter from your homeroom teacher every week by Monday at 8 a.m. And it's just kind of like announcements and stuff like that.
Cool. So I'm going to kind of go into what we expect in 4th grade and kind of our rules and responsibilities of your 4th grader. The first thing we do is we give positive reinforcement through something called a Starbucks. So maybe you've heard them talk about Starbucks. It's not an actual coffee. It is just a ticket system that they get. So they get a Starbucks when they bring their Thursday folder back, or if they stack their chair, their desk's clean, or doing the right thing, right? It's just a reward system that we have. They could accumulate their Starbucks and use it for, teacher chair or different rewards. The one they love to save up for is snack with a friend. So when they earn 50 Starbucks and their buddy earns 50 Starbucks, they get to have snack with a friend where they get to sit at the back table and they can eat all day long and hang out. They still have to do school, so they still have to learn, but it has to be whatever they can physically bring in. Things kind of went array in the last few years where parents were Uber eating in food all day long. I mean, I joke, unless you've included our lunch on there, maybe. No, I'm kidding. But like, as far as like, don't bring in ice cream. It needs to be stuff that they can bring in. I mean, they can bring a rolling cooler or whatever, but it's pretty amazing. Don't have them schedule it. My own always scheduled it on a night of sports, and then it doesn't go so well because I think they all got sick the night of snack with a friend. So it's also fun because we get into economics, and I can tell because they also, if they get 5 Starbucks, they can buy a piece of candy. And you can also see kind of in your class who are the savers and who are the spenders, who are kind of the impulse. You know, I have 5, I want a Jolly Rancher, or I'm gonna save for 50. So that's, if you hear Starbucks talking about that and snack with a friend, that's kind of what that is. 4th grade, our big message that we tell every year is this is the year that we are teaching them to be responsible. K through 3 is known as a primary grade, 4th grade starts intermediate. And so really the big message, and it sometimes sounds really bad, but we really want you to let them fail. And what I mean by that is if they don't have their binder, if they don't have a belt, don't run it up here, right? Like they can learn the consequences, and I guarantee you they won't forget their belt again, right? And so we won't have them call. If they don't have their lunch, we have food options for them. And I don't think anybody in our school is going to, you know, die from not having lunch one day, right? So we really just encourage you to get them prepared for life when right now it counts, but it doesn't count, if that makes sense. So this is like the time to teach them these lessons, and starting in 4th grade. Let us be the bad guy, right? Like, so if they don't have their binder, they will have consequences, but let us handle that so that that's not on you, because otherwise they'll get used to you bringing and rescuing them every time, and then they never learn that lesson. So that's kind of our big shift in 4th that we really ask, and I know it's hard. I'm a parent as well, and I know if they have to miss 5 minutes of recess that the world is crashing down, but just know they will be better for it in the long run if they can learn this early on. With that, we do have study halls. So every day, we legally have to give 1 recess. Well, we would anyway, not just a have to. We all need a break. But lunch recess will never get taken away. But the afternoon recess, a kid might be in for 5 or 10 minutes if there was a behavior issue, or if they don't have their binder or their homework, or sometimes if you've taken a vacation or something and they have to make up work, it's just a time to make up work and get that done. Or maybe like, I don't know, these 3 kiddos didn't do well on a math assignment or math test. I might keep them in to kind of go over that concept, right? So that's not necessarily the punishment of study hall, but we do have at the end of the month, we have a study hall party. We keep a spreadsheet of who's had study hall. And if you've done where you have no study hall for the month, you earn a study hall party. And it's just an additional 15, 20 minutes of recess while everyone else is doing deer time. So it's not a punishment to the kids who didn't earn it, because they would have silent reading anyway at that time. But we do want to reward those kids that are kind of always doing the right thing. And it really is a motivator after the August one. How many kids in September are like, ooh, okay, I want to get study hall party. It is something that they, you know, strive towards, and we really find that helps with the responsibility piece. Next, we do bathroom passes. So I don't know if your kids have told you, they do get more than 10 times to go to the bathroom in a month. We give them a monthly bathroom pass that has 10, you know, punch marks out of it of extra bathroom time. Now they get 10 times throughout the day. Okay, so there's literally every hour there's a free time to go to the bathroom. Because every year I have a parent that's like, my kid says you will only let them go to the bathroom 10 times for the month. That is not true. That is an additional, if sometimes they have to go at an off time of a passing time, that they will use that punch. Does that make sense? And that's usually my other plug that, you know, they're very quick to throw you guys under the bus. And, you know, my mom forgot to put my binder in my backpack. It's my mom's fault. Sorry, moms, you get it more than dads. But just know, you know, I'm sure they throw us under the bus too. So I always just kind of say, like, we'll believe half of what they say about you if you'll believe half of what they say about us. So, so anyway, that's bathroom passes. They do get to go edit, you know, when they can. Really quick along with that, I'm going to talk really quick about dress code. Dress code's pretty similar from third. They have to wear a belt. Their shirt's supposed to be tucked in. No sweatshirts unless it's BFA. They can wear like a Nike sweatshirt to school in recess, but they have to take it off during the day when in the building. The other universal rule around the school this year is smartphones. Smartwatches have to be in their backpacks. They're treated just like a phone. They are very distracting. We tried a few years ago, you know, but kids were texting parents, parents texting them, kids taking pictures with them, games. It's just, we're already trying to keep their attention when they're used to playing Fortnite 24/7. So just know that we have them taken care of. If you have a message for them, just email us. We always can tell, we get messages, hey, by the way, you're a walker today. We all check our emails by 3:15. So if there's a message, we will get it to your kiddo. But just know that they won't have their smartwatch with them until after carpool. Next, really quick, is second step. That's our social emotional learning. It's great. We do different lessons once a week, usually on Fridays, on, you know, things like empathy and how to make friends and how to handle situations on the playground, and, you know, what if your feelings are hurt, and kind of really the whole message for fourth grade is how to handle things in an assertive way, not necessarily passive and not aggressive, but how do we handle these situations when things aren't going their way. And it's one of my favorites because we just kind of sit as a community in the class and kind of discuss, like, you know, kids cutting in line playing Foursquare, like how do you handle that, and giving them these tools to do that. So that's second step. Every Friday we go through it, we do an assignment. They can bring, you should get home over the weekend, the sheet. Did any of you get it yet? Some of you? Okay, good. The back page is a parent part that if you want to do that with your child, they do get a reward if they bring that back filled out and signed. Just a way for you to kind of help guide them in these situations. Last in this area I want to talk about is Nifty News. If you were here last year, Nifty News is very similar to the weekly writing you had in third grade. The biggest difference I think in fourth is we have it typed. So they will type their Nifty News and print it at home. It needs to come printed. You have a full week, because I understand some people don't have printers, but surely between work or library or whatever, you can get it printed. We do try to, I teach them how to start it and doing it in their Google Drive. Because there are times where they do forget it. Oh, it's on my printer. Oh, our printer wouldn't work. Oh, and I'll say, if you have it on your drive, I will print that for them, but they'll owe a Starbucks. So again, just kind of teaching them, like, you might forget something, but there's a give and take in that. But if they've done it in your drive or on a Word document, I can't help them with that, because then that's a late assignment, if that makes sense. So all the website has, it has a sample of the Nifty News, it has a rubric of the Nifty News, and they all are assigned a certain day. So if your child is assigned a Tuesday, every Tuesday they will come with a writing assignment. And in the past, we've had kids write about what they did over the weekend. Some write an animal report every week, whatever they want to write, because I found that kids will write if it's something that they're passionate about. And then every Tuesday, whatever that day is, they will get up and present it in front of the class. Because that's, again, the number one fear of Americans is public speaking. And so we really try to get them started at a young age, getting used to getting up and presenting in front of the class. So again, all that information's on the website. We have not even gone over that yet with the students, because the other thing with Nifty News, we don't ever do it on a short week. So we won't start Nifty News till the week after Labor Day. So we'll be going over that this week and next. So just don't go and be like, when are we doing Nifty News? They may be like, what are you talking about? Because we haven't gone over all those details.
All right, I'm going to take us into curriculum and just kind of talk to you about what we're learning and going through throughout the day. I first want to talk about our CKLA program. This is our language arts program. This is a core knowledge school, so that's what that stands for, core knowledge language arts. This is our reading and writing curriculum that we've had at BFA since I've been a teacher here, so for at least 10 years. It is a very rigorous curriculum. Certain units are more rigorous than others. But what I want to communicate to you all is they are working so hard on this when they're at school. So we really do not send home CKLA homework because we are really diving in deep. They're answering complicated short answer questions. It's so rigorous that we're like, take a break when you get home. Take a breath. This is good. So it's challenging in class, no homework. The only thing that you may see from CKLA is there are a couple spelling tests throughout the year. When I say a couple, I mean about 6 or 7 total for the whole 4th grade year. So when I taught 3rd grade, I remember lots of spelling tests throughout the year. That changes in 4th. That might make you so happy, or I don't know what your feelings are, but less spelling in 4th grade. So if you do see homework for CKLA, it will probably have something to do with spelling, studying spelling, or practice pages that we're sending home that have to do with spelling. So that you might see them coming home and doing that for homework, just as extra practice. But most of the time, you won't see homework for CKLA. We have pretty high expectations with this curriculum as well. In 4th grade, we're really diving in and trying to teach them how to give thorough, complete, clear answers. So if you see in their Thursday folder graded work from our language arts curriculum, and they missed 5, but it all appears to be correct, it might be because they didn't capitalize. There wasn't a period. Other details, we're trying to teach them to recycle part of the question so that it's a complete answer. And that is like a tough thing to really, because you just want to get it done. But we're trying to teach them, so our expectations are pretty high on those answers. So if you see that at first they're kind of harshly graded, that's why we're trying to teach them to be detailed, take their time, and really answer with work they're proud of. So we like to say, don't turn it in unless you're proud of this. So, put in the time and the effort. So that's kind of CKLA. We read lots of fun stories. It kind of integrates a little bit with science and social studies a bit. Right now we're doing personal narratives, so it's more, short stories and that kind of thing, but it switches all year long, and there's some fun units coming up. Science and social studies, that takes me to those 2 subjects. Ms. Sparta did a great job of showing you the tabs on our website. If you are curious about what they will be learning throughout 4th grade, all of those topics are uploaded on both of those tabs, science and social studies. Social studies specifically, right now if you were to go on, you will have all of the study guides are on there, all of the study games are on there for every single subject in social studies that we will be covering, or every topic that we'll be covering in social studies. Science, we will this year work as a school kind of aligning up with CK Sci, so core knowledge science, which we've been doing, but the standards sort of changed, meaning like the grades switched with what they're teaching and whatnot, so we're all aligning. So some of our topics in science changed from last year, so you won't see the study guides and the study games uploaded yet for science. You'll kind of see them topic by topic. But you can go ahead and look and see what they'll be learning. It's kind of fun to see what's coming. So that's a great place to go if study guides get lost or they've been absent and they have blanks, because we try our best to catch them up when they get back, but sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, half your notes aren't filled out. If you discover that at home when you're looking through their binder, they can hop on the website and fill in those notes from when they've been absent. We go over them in class. We don't typically like to have them work ahead, but if they've been absent, they can use the website to fill in those answers. Corrections. On all assignments in all math, language arts, science, and social studies, we do allow corrections. So if your son or daughter gets below a 70% on honestly anything, it could be a worksheet, a quiz, a test, and they would like to make corrections, they can do so, but they cannot earn higher than a 70%. So for instance, if they got a 53%, they can definitely bump themselves up to that 70, and that will really improve that grade when it goes into the grade book, especially if it's a bigger test or something. But we do like to keep for those students that really studied hard or something came, they did really well in a quiz or a test or something, we want to make sure they earn that A. But anyone can correct. So, with that said, part of the responsibility of fourth grade and what we're teaching them is we will talk to them about these corrections. And we want them to start taking responsibility for their own choices and their own education a little bit. So, for instance, when you go through their Thursday folders with them and you stop and you go, uh-oh, what happened here? Have that conversation. And then we would love for the fourth graders to get to a point where they're like, I want to make a correction on this. I think I should have gotten that right. Or, I knew that, I still got it wrong. And they can change that, fix it, and turn it back into us. But we will not hunt them down and say, hey, remember that test? Hey, remember that quiz that this happened? Are you going to do corrections? Are you going to do corrections? That's kind of on them to make that choice. If it really affects their grade, especially towards the beginning of the year, we might kind of encourage it. Another thing you might see is in Thursday folders, we will write on the top of things that we would like to offer corrections. Correct and return, we'll write that at the top of the paper. But again, we're not going to probably follow up with them and say, hey, where's that sheet? Weren't you going to make corrections? We're kind of putting that in their court and giving them the option. You want to improve your grade, here's how you can do that. So that's corrections. And hopefully that gives them a chance to try it again. Our math curriculum is called Envision. This is a problem-solving based curriculum that we have done now. This is our third year of doing Envision. And so it kind of, we really like it because it starts off with a problem-solving problem that they can work out kind of the way that they feel works for them. And then there is a short lesson with practice that goes with it every day. So the difference of this curriculum compared to maybe our past curriculums is that it is topic by topic. So for instance, right now we're teaching place value and writing numbers up to 1 million. And then when this topic is over, we'll take a test over those things and we'll move on to the next topic, which is multi-digit addition and subtraction. So it does topic by topic, finishing with a test at the end of each one that we're hopefully seeing whether they mastered it or not, and then we move on to the next topic. So mostly all of our math is done at school. There is math homework. All that it is practicing facts. So again, like we've said a couple times already, we really are encouraging these kids to go home. I know a lot of them have other hobbies, sports, they're very busy kids, to just enjoy their evenings. But there are a couple of responsibilities, and one of those big ones is to study their facts. So they don't have a math worksheet, they don't have homework from the math book, but they need to be finding a way to study their facts, specifically multiplication. And if they've mastered that, they can hop over to division. But we get really heavy with concepts that involve multiplication. So if they can be quick and fluent with their multiplication facts, then those other concepts are not as difficult. So I encourage them flashcards. They can use apps, they can use computers, they can use good old just fact sheets and do those mini tests that we all used to do, that I hated. But, whatever it is for them, and it, gets them sitting down, or they can do it standing, or jumping on the trampoline, or something like that. 20 minutes, fact practice, so that it just becomes second nature. That will help them so much. So that's all we ask for math right now, is that is happening. Last thing for math is we do have one class that we ability group for in math. So 3, your son or daughter may have come home and said, I'm not in my homeroom for math, or I switched for math. So we have 3 classrooms that are on grade level 4th grade math, and then I teach an accelerated class that we kind of use data from last year, their CMAS scores, their iReady scores, from this fall, and then their end of the year Envision test from last year, looked at all sorts of data to kind of determine the students that were ready for an accelerated challenge, but I'm still teaching 4th grade math. We're all doing the same stuff every day, the same, excuse me, I should say that different, but the same topic every day. I just take it a little bit of a step further. But everybody else is right where they're needed. The other 3 teachers are absolutely differentiating within their classrooms because they're very aware that not everybody's at the same spot, right? So there are other students that also need a challenge that will be getting that in those other classrooms as well. So we're just wanting to make sure everybody's getting what they need and growing by the end of the year. So that's math. That's our curriculum. I'm gonna move on to AR. So AR stands for Accelerated Reader. This is our reading program that just kind of tracks the students throughout the year with what they're reading with something called AR points and an AR goal. So every trimester, every student is given an AR goal. They should have their goals by now. Example, they might have 25 points as their AR goal. So by, I think it's November 13th, it's the end of the first trimester, they have to get 25 points. And this is how they get points. As they read books, every book is worth a certain amount of points. The shorter the books, the fewer the points. The larger the book, more. So like a small chapter book is usually about 1 point. The larger chapter books are can be up to 13, 15 points. And then kind of somewhere in between. It's based off difficulty, length, all sorts of things. So they read a chapter book, they come into school, they can take a quiz on that book, and then that is a point towards their overall goal for the trimester. They take all their AR quizzes, almost said goals, quizzes at school. And it's also a great way for us as teachers to track what they're reading and just to know, oh wow, you've read 6 books in the last week, or, oh wow, it's halfway through the trimester and you've taken 1 AR quiz. What's been going on? Are you reading? That kind of thing. So it's sort of our tracking way too. So we require them to read books they can take quizzes on in 4th grade. We want to, track with them. So at the end of each trimester, if they meet their goal, they get an AR dress of choice. So there's an extra dress of choice that's stuck in there for people that have met their goals. So that's another incentive, just a reading program that we use here. iReady is our diagnostic test that we use to track growth throughout the year. So we take an iReady diagnostic for math and reading in the fall, winter, and then spring. And this is our tool that we use to track their growth, to make sure that we're filling in the gaps that need to be filled in, to just make sure we're all on track heading towards 5th grade, because that's the goal. We want them ready for 5th grade. With the diagnostics, there are iReady lessons. So these are daily lessons. We do these at school. So you do not need to worry about them at home. They are not homework. They're required 2 reading and 2 math at school, and we have a designated time in the afternoon that they get to work on those. And again, this is just a great way for us to track kind of their learning. These lessons are tailored to them specifically based off of their diagnostic. So if there are gaps in math or reading that they need extra practice with, their iReady lesson will kind of tackle that, and they'll keep taking lessons until it shows mastery. So that's just another great tool for us to track and monitor their growth throughout the year. Last thing, your homework after tonight, just some stuff to think about. We want to leave you with a couple things that you may want to do just as a parent of a 4th grader. First, make sure you can log on to GradeLink. This is where we do put all of our grades in and track. So if you don't know how to log into GradeLink or have lost that login information, please email your teacher and we would be happy to send home the login information again. Even if you're like, I'm embarrassed, I've been here since kindergarten and I don't remember how to get into GradeLink. No judgment, just tell us, hey, can you resend the GradeLink login and we'll shoot that out to you, or we'll put it in their Thursday folder or something. This is a great way to just track their grades. and just kind of see what's going on. We ask that you do go through their Thursday folders every week. We send them home for a purpose. My favorite is when I see the Thursday folder empty and then the whole backpack is just chucked full of weeks of Thursday folder stuff. I'm like, oh, this is funny. So none of that's gone home. Okay. That's where we send home tests. So sometimes we'll hear like, what am I doing in math? I have no idea. I've never seen anything. So great place to look. So every Thursday, look through it. You can throw it all away if you like. Your choice. But just take a minute, because again, this is that moment for you guys to have the conversation. Oh, you could have gotten this all right, but you forgot periods on every single answer. You know, just kind of like reflecting on their work. So it's a great place to do that. Again, you can look and see so they can make corrections. You can help them with those corrections. And then we do have accountability form signatures. This is from last year's paper, and you had to sign it. And it's just accountability going through our policies as a school and our, I think just policies, right?
No.
Yeah. This year it's a Google form, and I think that has been sent out to you or will be sent out to you. But we will make sure you get it if you haven't in our newsletter. But that's just for you to say, we acknowledge all of BFA's policies, and we agree, we're here, we're going to listen, and we're going to do what it says. You know, so that's all from us. Any
The only thing I will,
questions?
before we do questions, because we had a few questions from the last session, please do not throw away things in their binder. We clean out binders after units, but like, for example, I just gave a star if they did their social studies notes, but I told my class, you need these, because we're gonna start a PowerPoint presentation. And so if you're going through cleaning out, and I get it, because you wanna keep them organized, but we will do that. So after every unit, or about every month, we clean desks, and I go through the binder with them. Everybody look in your blue folder. This should be the only thing in there. And they make a big pile of recycling or sent home to go home. So let us do that, because sometimes it might look like it's something finished, but actually something we really still need. So let us do the cleaning out of binders.
Yeah, good call.
Any questions?
How long do they have to make corrections?
Good question. Usually within like a few weeks. I will say, I've gotten the week before the end of the trimester, I've had kids come in with like multiple papers that then I have to go through and check correction, so we try to keep it before the end of the next unit, if that's possible. We're not like strictlers on that, but it is hard at the end of the trimester if we're trying to do it and now somebody walks in with all
Yeah.
these.
We'll probably
Papers.
accept it because they put in all that effort.
Right, totally.
But yes, not preferable.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
When do we find out where our kids go for math? You guys send that out already? If they are moving teachers?
Yes, if they're moving teachers, then you will have heard.
Okay.
If you have not heard anything, then they're with their homeroom teacher. Yes.
So do they choose their AR goal, or do you guys choose their AR goal? And then also, are we still able to walk into Renaissance to live in African progress?
Yes.
We do the minimum is 25 for 4th grade to start off with. So with that included though is our read aloud. So we read aloud. So right now I'm reading Wonder. I think it's like I should know, we do it every year, 8 or 9 point book, right? So I basically hand them about 15 to 20 points a trimester without them even reading. So we make goals that are definitely obtainable, because if they're reading during DEAR time, the other part of their homework is to read every night, they should do that. Now some kids will be like, I don't want 25, I want like 60, great. But 25 is kind of the minimum, and then I think it goes to 30 second trimester.
But yes, if you want that login, or you
yeah.
need that login from us, again, send it to your teacher and we'll
I tried to log in and it's only allowing it,
Oh,
this year. So I was wondering.
Yes, that should be still a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can get you connected with your, maybe, who knows, we can help. Yes,
Are there any projects they have to do?
oh, good question. We have one project in 4th grade for social studies. And this is kind of like, they do science fair every other year, and then our year is a social studies fair kind of projecting. So it will be a Middle Ages project, and you'll have all the information. But other than that, that's it. Yeah.
And most of that one's done
At
at school.
yeah.
I think like Amy said, we really just, in fourth grade, we want them, they work hard here, go home and be a kid. And so we really try to, like I said, we're gonna push them here to get stuff done, but there's not projects or like, other than Nifty News and learning your facts and reading, that's kind of, we'll take the rest of it.
Yeah.
Field trips?
Yes. We go to the Colorado State Capitol in the spring. And on that day, we go to the Colorado History Museum as well, kind of duo, because they're really close to each other. We go to the Natural History Museum, because we do some human body stuff, so we explore that area of the museum. In the fall, we kind of do a fun STEM, or not, it's not for sure, but I'm sure they'll let us. It's a really cool field trip over at the new ice arena. What is it called? South Suburban, their new thing. And they get to skate, but then they also teach them kind of the science behind an ice rink. Really cool. Yeah, so that's a new one. I think we were the first school to ever go on that field trip. We were the inaugural. But we've gone every year since, and it's cool. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
For the AR, like mine could like to read at home. He'll read Harry Potter like every like quarter or whatever, just to get the points. How do we check to see how many points a specific like is? Because he likes to pick the boys with the highest points, or like slack and pick one that has like 1 point, just to be away from it.
Yeah. I use a website called arbookfinder.com. Maybe there's more out there. I think that's on our website under useful links, but it's called AR Bookfinder, and you can type in any book, and it'll tell you how many points. There's an app where you can scan. See, I'm like, you guys are the ones probably looking at more than me, but yeah. Cool.
Not for a test.
Great. Well, if you think of anything, we did record this session, so if you are like, oh my gosh, I don't remember this, you can go rewatch it if you want, or just for fun.
Just for fun.
I know it's how you want to spend your evening, but yeah, we're always here to answer questions or anything you might need. Thank you so much.